Hello everyone, welcome to It's Crochet O'Clock. My name is Stephanie and today we are going to be going through an absolute beginner's guide on how to make the granny square pattern. The reason we're doing this is because a lot of crocheters, when they first start crocheting, end up making granny squares, and the reason for that is that it's an easy repeat. It's only 2 stitches. That's it, just 2 stitches, a chain and a double crochet. That's all you need to know to make the granny square pattern. The other reason is because you can continue on with it and make an entire blanket out of this, like the one that I have on the screen. It's very versatile. You can just keep building and building and building until you reach the size that you want, or you run out of yarn. God willing, that never happens to any of us. We don't ever want to run out of yarn. But you can also just change the colors of it. Just change the colors here and there and it will change the entire look of it. It's extremely versatile. And then once you get the hang of it, you can make smaller squares and then you can join them and then you have even more possibilities. Really is a versatile pattern, and I'm so excited to show you guys how I make my granny squares today. The image that you're looking at, the big version of a granny square blanket, is made by my very good friend Emma over at pippinpoppycock.com, who makes some beautiful patterns, but she also makes beautiful grannies, as you can see on the screen. So the things that you are going to need today is you're going to need yarn. Of course you're going to need yarn. For me, I am using Paintbox Simply Aran yarn, or Aran weight yarn. You don't have to use this kind of yarn. You can use any kind of yarn that you would like. I would think that you would just get, you know, a plainer yarn, and I don't mean in color. I mean don't get fuzzy yarn or something like that, because if you're new, then that is just going to annoy you because it's very hard to work with, even for folks who are seasoned crocheters. So get yourself some normal yarn. You can just go to a regular craft store and get yourself some yarn. Make sure that you're looking at the back side of the pattern, or of the sleeve of the yarn. In most cases they will tell you what hook you need. This says 5mm. That's what you're going to need for it, and it also has the drying or the washing instructions on it, so that's important. And then you are going to need a crochet hook, and I know that my yarn called for a 5mm, but I am using a 5.5mm because I wanted a little bit more of a looser stitch. And then you're going to need some scissors and probably a darning needle to weave in your ends at the end. And that's it. That's all that you need. So let's go ahead and get into making our granny square, shall we? To begin, we are simply going to make a slip knot. And if you don't know how to make a slip knot yet, a really easy way to do it is to simply wind the yarn around your finger twice, like so. Grab the back loop, pull it over the front, and then grab that loop that's now in the back and slip it over, just like that. Then you'll insert your hook, tighten it down, and you're ready to go. We are going to begin this traditional granny square with a chain 4, so make sure the loop on your hook, right here where our slip knot is right there. Yarn over, and then pull through. That's 1. Make sure your loop is back up on the neck of your hook. Yarn over, pull through. That's 2. Make sure your loop is up here. Yarn over, pull through. That's 3. And then yarn over, pull over for 4. Now we need to connect it because granny squares, traditional granny squares, are worked in the round, so they're squares. So we're going to create our center, insert your hook into that first chain space that you created. Grab the working yarn, pull it through, and then pull it through once more. And then there is your circle. So now we're ready to begin round 1 of our traditional granny square. To begin round 1, we're going to chain 2, and that's going to replace our first double crochet. So make sure that the loop is up on the neck of your hook, yarn over, pull through, that's 1, yarn over, pull through, that's 2. Now this is going to count again as our first double crochet. Now we need to make another double crochet, so we're going to yarn over on our hook and then insert our hook straight into the center of the circle that we just made. Yarn over, pull up, you'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 of them, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our first proper double crochet. Let's do one more. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yay! Now we have a granny cluster. That's what I call them. That's not the proper name for them, but that's what I call them. Now we need to make a corner. So we are just going to chain 2. So make sure that your loop here is up on the neck, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 1, chain 2. That's our corner. It doesn't make sense right now, but it will. So now we need to work another series of 3 double crochets into this center ring here. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's do that 2 more times. Yarn over, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1 more time. And there we go. Now we need to make another corner. So we are going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to do 3 more double crochets. Yarn over. I'm going to move that tail out of my way now. There is 2. And there is 3. Now it's time for another corner. If you need to, pull this back a little bit to give yourself some room. Chain 2. There's our corner. Now 3 double crochets. Now it's time to make our last corner. So you chain 2, and now we are going to connect all of this work by slip stitching to the top of our chain 2. This was our starting chain 2. Remember I said that it counts as a double crochet. That is our second chain right there. So you're just going to insert your hook into it, yarn over, and pull that through, and then pull it through the loop that's on your hook. And there you go. You have successfully done round 1 of a granny square. So now we're going to move into round 2. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to turn our work. And what I like to do is I like to slip stitch into this chain space. So what you're going to do is just insert your hook into the chain space, grab that yarn, and then pull it through. Now we are going to start just as we did the first round. We are going to chain 2, and that counts as our first double crochet. Now put 2 more double crochets into this same chain space. And now we need to make a corner. So chain 2, and put 3 more double crochets into this same chain space. That is our first proper corner of round 2. Now, the thing with grannies is we are going to skip over all of this work right here and go straight into this chain space, okay? And there we're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So let's get into our first group of double crochets. There's our first 3 double crochets. Move it over to give myself some room. Chain 2 to make our new corner. Now 3 more double crochets in that chain space. There's your second new corner. Now we're going to skip over all of this, do it again in this corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Here goes our first grouping of double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, chain 2. Now our second grouping of double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. There is our third corner. Now we're going to hop over here to our last one. Same thing again, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, one double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. Now we need to connect them. Remember, this was our first starting chain that counts as a double crochet. There is our second chain in that. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, and pull through. And that is round 2 of your first granny square. To begin round 3, we are going to turn our work just as we did when we were beginning round 2, and we are going to slip stitch right over here into this space between these clusters. Last time we slip stitched over into the chain space, we're just going to slip stitch right here between these 2 clusters. And again, we are going to chain 2. That counts as our first double crochet. Now we need to place 2 more double crochets in this space between these 2 clusters. This round is a little bit different. Now we're over here at a corner, and we're going to treat this corner just like we did the last round. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Just go right into it. Chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Now we're going to skip this cluster right here. Skip it, and we're going to place 3 double crochets in between these 2 clusters. So this space right here is where we're going to be placing our hook, okay? 3 double crochets right there. Now we're going to skip this cluster and go straight for a corner, place another corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. That's 2, skip over this grouping or cluster right there, and in between these place 3 double crochets. Skip over this, that grouping right there, into the corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Chain 2, and 3 double crochets. And again, we're going to skip over that grouping right there, place 3 double crochets in between, skip over that grouping, another corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Chain 2, there we go, and now we're at the end. So now it's time to join all of this. So again, we had the chain 2 that counts as our first double crochet. There is our second chain. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. And that is round 3 of our granny square. To begin round 4, which is going to be the round that I will leave you on, we are going to turn our work just as we've done previously. Now again, just as we were working in between the clusters for last round, we're going to be doing the same thing here. So we need to slip stitch into this space between the clusters, grab that yarn, pull it through. We're going to begin just as we have always began, 2 chains, that counts as our first double crochet, 2 more double crochets into that space between the groupings or the clusters. There we go. Skip over this cluster, we're right into a corner, and by now we know how to work corners. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. There we go, there's our corner. Now as your granny grows, if you're choosing to do a continuous granny blanket, these spaces are going to grow by 1 each row you go. So last row we placed only 1 between these 2 groupings. Now we have 2 spaces. Next row, or next round rather, you'll have 3 spaces, and it will continue to grow and grow and grow. So this time we're going to skip this cluster right here, go right between these 2, 3 double crochet. Skip this next grouping, go in between those two, 3 double crochet. Now you're going to skip this last grouping and we're at a corner, so we're going to make another corner. There you go. And that is what round 4 will look like. So you're just going to continue on around just as we have always done. When you get back over here, remember this first chain 2 counts as your first double crochet. So that is where you are going to join to. That's what it will look like. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Remember that you can choose to do squares and then you can join them. There's many different ways to join them. But if you're just starting out with crochet, this is a super easy, traditional, there's a reason why everybody learns, well, most folks learn how to do granny squares when they first learn how to crochet. It's an easy pattern that repeats and it just keeps growing on its own. So you can make one huge big granny square blanket with this pattern and you can just keep going until you feel like stopping. You can change colors wherever you would like to. You can do it in one solid color. You can choose variegated yarn, which means that there's different colors already in the yarn. There's so many possibilities and it's so versatile. So I hope that this video has helped you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video.